All right, what's going on, Big Strunks? First thing you'll see it's recorded vertical. It's just Instagram's been taken off, so I've been kind of prioritizing that. Any case, so this is a Smash the Lats. John Jewett's channel really saw some techniques on how to hit the lats better, so I went in here on this day with just the idea. It was a back day, but I was really just going to focus on the lats, really trying to get those to engage. It's always been a weakness of mine. I haven't been able to get them to hit well. So even here on these first sets on the lat pull down, you can see I've gone with a neutral grip bar. That elbow line, if you compare it with some of my older lat pull downs, that elbow line is really traveling more vertical, I guess up and down in the, is it called the sagittal plane, like front to back, as opposed to going like traveling in my sides. It's more going vertically up and down. My elbows are traveling forward to back as opposed to out to the sides, where it would be more in, like, say, your rhomboids or mid back. Really trying to keep the weight under control. Even though it looks like my elbows are pointing out, this is actually me keeping my elbows close and really pulling them back, to really try to engage that lat. And I kept the weight a little bit lighter here. I think the heaviest set might have been at 141. I was really concentrating on trying to keep the focus on the lats. And I have to say, John Jewett was right. I mean, he's a big son of a bitch. Um, got some good lats, and it was definitely working here. This was definitely a change, and so I've gone to more this setup for my lats. I think I do like a little bit wider bar just to get my hands out a little bit wider. It really helps my elbows track in when you're trying to tuck them in. Because if your hands are inside of your elbows, it naturally wants to make them flare. So here's a hammer strength plate loaded row machine. I'd never really used it too much before, but it was one of the things, again, that Jewett recommended. So first thing I had to find was a good placement on that vertical grip. And I don't have much weight on here. I think I've got, a 45 and a 25. And once I really started dialing in and pulling that hand from an upper position down to, say, my hip pocket kind of movement, and really focusing on keeping that elbow tucked in and keeping it close to my body as I can, I really started feeling that lat. And like I said, a 45 and a 25 was all I needed. I think I was hitting sets of 10 here, nice and slow. You can see controlled on the negative, and just really pulling it in and squeezing that lat. So one thing I'm finding more and more as I go more towards the, I don't want to say bodybuilding side, but away from like just strength where you're going for, 3 reps to 6 reps kind of ranges and just trying to move the weight. With a lighter weight, it's really important to be thinking about that muscle and flexing that muscle on purpose, no matter what no matter what the muscle is, which I'm sure bodybuilder types are like, yeah, no kidding. But it's a new one for me. 47 years old, you learn something new every day, right? Yeah, I can't remember if I put all the sets in here, but it's basically just keeping, and you can see how my hand kind of inched up there on the grip. If the weight gets a little bit too hard and you start losing your form, go up a little bit higher on that grip. It just makes it a longer lever. It makes it a little bit easier to pull and keep your form. And that's what I'm learning with the lats. You really have to keep that form and really dial it in to where you're squeezing that lat muscle. I think one of the exercises now I really want to try to dial in is the Yates row. It's just something I never really did because it wasn't comfortable, but being able to hit that lower lat, because here I think I figured out how to really hit that mid lat, the biggest part of the muscle, but hitting that lower lat would be the next step. Maybe Yates row, or maybe even a low row, hammer strength low row, the elbows tucked. I believe I do that this workout as well. So same thing, you see I'm kind of just really tracking it with my head. Maybe I shouldn't be turning my body like this, but I was really feeling it in that lat, so I went with it. Just nice and controlled. And on the warm-up sets, I tried different hand positions. Like I was really low on the handle, all the way up top on the handle. And like I said, here I'm probably about, 2/3 up, 3/4 up to the top. And that was a good position to really keep the tension on that muscle as I was going through the reps. Like I said, you go what's comfortable for you. Everybody's different. Also try to keep the seat position is a little bit higher because I wanted to try to really focus on getting my hand in the finish position kind of down towards my pocket. Whereas normally I'd be able to have that seat position a little bit lower. All right, hammer strength, high row. Again, the difference here is from what I would normally probably do is here. Excuse me. So the difference here is I'm really concentrating on keeping that elbow tucked in and tracking down and thinking about that lat throughout the movement. And I might be standing a little bit too far forward and getting a little bit of the shoulder involved. But like I said, I was still able to feel the lat. And again, this isn't heavy weight. This might be... Ooh. I can't remember if I did 1 plate or 2 plates because I was really focusing on hitting the muscle. You know. This might... this... I think it's 2 plates. And then, going through some single arm sets and then finishing off with some 2 arm. Because basically I did my warm-up single arm. And then here, still tracking. Like I said, if I was flaring my elbows, they'd be even higher than they are now. It probably, yeah, this is probably a 45 on each side, not 2 45s. But I definitely recommend old John Jewett's channel if you're more into the bodybuilding side, kind of looking for those, fine tuning pointers where you just can't quite figure out where you need to be hitting the muscle, and maybe you're doing something wrong in your setup. Because for a long time too, like on the lat pull, going back to that, I'd always been taught, kind of you're pushing your chest towards the ceiling and whatever, and whereas he kind of has the opposite where he says, brace like you're fixing to get punched in the stomach. Well, people who get punched in the stomach, they don't throw their chest to the ceiling, And so really taking that into mind where you're kind of more bracing your core and almost keeping your spine in a neutral position instead of flaring up. Really helped a lot. So here's some chest press. Basically, this was just to give my hands a break from all the pulling. Give those muscles a rest, let them relax for a couple minutes. You can see the weight. I think I've got, it's maybe 80 or 100 pounds on the chest press. And this was right after I'd had the bench workout. So really, I'm just getting some blood flowing into the chest. Not really, it's just some movement. Just movement. Not to just be sitting there resting. But letting my hands recover, grip recover. And like I said, since I'm smashing lats over and over again, the whole workout, letting my lats rest for a minute. And one thing here, just like we've been talking about, if you're using a lighter weight, even on the chest press, you can see that I'm not locking out all the way. I'm keeping what weight I am pushing, concentrated on my chest. I'm thinking about flexing my chest and just keeping that tension because it's a light weight. So I'm just trying to keep that tension on my chest the whole time. From the looks of it here, maybe I could be sinking it in a little bit deeper whenever I come down. But again, it wasn't the main point of the workout. This is kind of a stopover till we get back to the lats. Kind of doing the same thing that we talked about on the last workout with the bench, just kind of pushing back into the bench to get those shoulders in a good position to where they're not snap, crackle, popping. There you can see it's sweating up pretty good workout. So here we go, hammer strength, low row, back to crushing the lats. So even on a low row, you can hit the lats. And so on this one though, I did want to get some middle back work in. So you can see here, I'm keeping the elbow out. So this is a good example of the difference would be between a tucked elbow and then me flaring the elbow. So on these rows, these are flared out, so I'm hitting more of that rhomboid middle back area. Really like the low row machine. Again, it's a palm up grip, whatever that's called. And again, I think just like on the high row, I do the first couple of sets single arm, and I think I go to two hand position. Yeah, here we go. So low row again. I don't know if you can see the difference, but here my elbows are really elevated up higher, so they're pulling, really focusing more in between the shoulders as opposed to the lats. Even my hand travel, the hand travel is not high to low going into that hip pocket. It's staying more out in front and bringing it right into just below my pecs. And that's the basic difference that I've learned between really focusing on the lats or focusing on the rhomboids in that middle back area. It's just kind of the elbow position, high to low for the lats, whereas your rhomboids and your traps can be more straight on or low to high, and with those elbows flared. A little bit of curl. I don't have super impressive biceps, but I'm working on it. You know, I'm just trying to get some sets in. Plus, the lighting in my gym really is not good, so you don't even get the benefit of any lighting to make it look like you have any biceps. So again, I mean, it's curls. I don't know what to say. I do try to keep my hand relaxed, so a lot of times I let my wrist break open, as long as the weight's not too heavy, just to keep from flexing that forearm. Try to keep the concentration on the bicep. So I believe this is the last exercise of the workout. Finish up these sets and then take it to the house. But I find that with this new arm split that I'm running, which this is not part of that. This was just, I saw the tips on the lat and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go crush lats today. So, but after this, we'll start picking up more of that new split that I'm running, where it's torso A, limbs A, torso B, limbs B. After this workout, so. Anyways, well, that's a good workout. And like I said, it was, those tips were, look up John Jewett on his tips on how to hit the lat. And really, I don't watch any of his stuff really, but his lat videos really helped me concentrate on my lats. And I was sore the next day after this, and it's been forever since I was sore on lats. But in any case, y'all stay strong. We'll see you on the next workout.